So, just gonna let you guys know now. Spoiler alert. Spoiler for the Arrowverse DC's Crisis on Infinite Earths for the CW. So yeah, you've been warned. Alright guys, I'm Dadaku here and I'm with my bud Yalta Studios. And we're here today to talk about an interesting topic. The crossover. The CW crossover. Woo. You sounded like that hurt you.
I'll let you do your thing.
Well, actually, I was going to ask you to give your thoughts first.
Oh, honestly, that was exactly as I expected it to go. Too clustered, but it's like too clustered that where it derives from the main point of the story. Whereas, for example, we don't care about Supergirl giving up hope over Earth 30, what?
8, I think there.
Yeah, she's Earth 38. It's like there's like a whole multiverse being destroyed, and you're literally upset because of your Earth. When it's like there's so many Earths out there, and then on top of that, it's like she's supposed to be the symbol of hope. I have not yet felt hopeful watching her.
She was more upset that Argo got destroyed than her own Earth getting ready to be destroyed, to be honest with you.
But it's like they're telling her your Earth is fine because Oliver just sacrificed his life to save an extra million more people.
Billy,
yeah. But it's like you're upset. You're still upset because Argo got destroyed, and you fail to realize. But this is just from a viewer point of view. You got 18 episodes left, so obviously you're coming back.
Yeah. So it doesn't really leave anything to be desired because we know they're all going to return. They could have focused more on certain plot points, or they could have gave more time to cameos. Like, to be honest, Kevin Conroy's scenes were really short to me. I think they should have did more.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. I felt like it was like they advertised everyone just so they could give them all a proper end.
Like Birds of Prey.
Like
It's over there for like 3 seconds.
Like nobody could like swooped in, picked her up, even though she wasn't a Paragon. Still, she could have fought like in the final battle or something like that. If you want to give everyone their proper send off, let them fight all the way up until the end or something like that. They don't have to be a part of the main cast, but just that background fighting. Like with Avengers in Endgame, you knew like all the heroes were going to team up, and it was like they had a perfect scenery where everyone got at least some type of camera time where they fought in the main battle. It's like you just wasted a whole bunch of characters just so you can give them like do something like that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you. Because like, for example, you had the Superman from Superman Returns, and we were thinking he had more screen time than the other cameos. Don't get me wrong, but you thought that even though Brandon Routh is still in there as Ray Palmer, you thought that you were going to get to see him because he was a Paragon. Then all of a sudden you have Lex Luthor just appear.
That was heartbreaking.
And to be
Watching
honest,
that was heartbreaking.
Brandon's about to leave the show, so I would prefer. I mean, we're probably going to see more John Cryer as Lex in Supergirl if you watch Supergirl or whatnot, and I felt as if they should have just gave him his time for that, especially with Superman, because even if, no matter what you thought of his movie, he still played a Superman, and he still didn't really have a definitive ending. He didn't really, they just kind of scrapped it because of how it was, and they went on. I thought this would have been perfect to put an end to his saga, but they did what they did.
They did what they did, and that was heartbreaking. It was like, it was heartbreaking, and then they're like, all right, now marinate on this for a month?
Yeah.
Because they'll be back in January 14th. But at the same time, it was like, wow, that was just... And he gave like this great speech about hope. And I was like, why isn't he the Paragon of Hope? But you already know what CW is doing. They have an agenda. They want to show like, no matter what Superman, no matter what Earth, they don't hail a comparison to Supergirl.
Yeah, because to be honest, they even had it, and they even had Tyler Hoechlin's Superman say, "You just had to one up me, didn't you?" When they were charging the tower to buy more time, he fell off, and she still just kept going, and just like in previous seasons when she beat him in a fight, the first season when when he passed out, but she didn't, and he was texting her, and he's like, "I guess you're made of stronger stuff than me." That's literally no. That's not how this works. That's not how this works at all. So I was just like, it has to be her, and I'm just like, you're gonna see her 18 more times in this season, and then probably another season. So I'm like, you could give other people the spotlight, like Tom Welling's Superman.
He still hasn't made up to you with that since that cloud, has he? That cloud.
Bad enough the last episode was small, but 10 years I followed this show. Everything was good with me for 10 years. The last episode just, oh my goodness. Darkseid was a cloud. That was the reason people didn't like Brandon Routh in Superman Returns. Well, they liked him, but they didn't like the movies because he really had Lex Luthor. Yes, was his enemy, but he really had no enemy to fight. He didn't have a big battle with Lex. He pushed the Kryptonite Island out into space some kind of way without dying because you can hold a piece of it in front of him and he falls. He lifted the whole island of it up, threw it in space, and came back and had a little piece in him. That was it. So they pretty much took that ending, copied it into the Smallville ending, and when he pushed Apocalypse off and pretty much pushed a cloud of death of Darkseid away, and that was just so I was like, okay, maybe he can, redeem him. Yeah, and then you get to see from the original Superman series, you see I spent the night with Superman on the paper and everything on the barn, so I'm like, okay, maybe they're in a way trying to make him look like he was like the Christopher Reeve Superman, or at least had a background similar to it, which would work because he, the original Superman, Christopher Reeve, was on Smallville before he died, and then he goes and he's like, yeah, I gave up my powers. You serious? Like, yeah, I gave up my powers for my kids, pretty much. And I'm like, not it! There's Supermen with children, and they have not given up their powers, and you could have at least made them have a bigger part. To be honest, without him, there would be no Arrowverse, because he pretty much started it. Pretty much. So you should have really had him, for one, be a Paragon, if you ask me. Maybe scheduling or stuff would be conflicting. He couldn't do it, that's fine. Give him more than that. At least let him be Superman for a little bit, just for a little bit. But no, they didn't do that either. I was just like, are you serious? Like, that was a big thing everybody was waiting for.
My thing too is, it's like with Batwoman, she's not bad. She was not bad, but it was like, she was everywhere. Yeah. And I get you're trying to establish that, okay, she's going to be the new Arrow type character, even though they got his daughter. But she's going to be that dark, gritty.
Well, they're just trying to make her a Batman because they can't have a Batman. Yep. So they're going to have Batman. And by that same stuff, yes, you can have a Superman, multiple as you see. You can't have Batwoman and Superman. You got to have Batman and Superman. So they're going to have Supergirl and Batwoman. So they want the same dynamic duo feel from those two like they do from Clark and Bruce, and that's why they're trying to push her to be more so like a Bruce. And I'm just like, it's not kind of how Kane works, but okay. I'm like, all right.
And then on top of that, it's like, even with Kevin Conroy, that felt like a waste, only because they literally said we need to find the Bat of Courage, the Paragon of Courage, which is the Bat of Gotham. Okay. So why send them all the way off to a whole nother Earth, kill that Batman, because he ends up dying.
He gets killed.
Oh, by the way, we're going to be spoiling.
Yeah, that was spoilers. I'll put it in the beginning of the video. Don't worry about it.
Kill him, and then come back and say, oh, I just wanted to show you what a true Bat of Courage is. You're the Paragon. That was a waste. You could just tell him.
Could have told him. That would have saved a lot of time, to be honest.
And why is it that all the Paragons are on our Earth? Like, I get that they had that Brandon Routh Superman, but it's like, other than him, like, every other Paragon was from our Earth. It's like, you couldn't just go around saving other characters from other Earths. Like, that's what I thought they meant when they did the cameos. Like, these are going to be Paragons. But it's like, no. They're just going to die, and the main cast is going to be our Paragons.
Yeah, with the exception of Kara and Brandon Routh Superman, which, as you saw, ended up turning into Lex from Kara's planet. So the only two non-Earth Oneers were Earth 38ers, and they're in the main Arrowverse continuity. So I was like, that didn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I said, because it does sound like we're trashing the crossover. I did enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
and so far and everything. I just wish they had did things a little better. Like, for example, Jim Corrigan from the canceled Constantine show, Spectre, the one that was supposed to become Spectre in season 2. They just threw him in there just so they could try to, I guess, throw that on Oliver. Like, no warning, no word. Like, it didn't even. I don't even understand how he was in purgatory. Because, to be honest, he was supposed to, in the second season, they had already pretty much brought it as he was coming back. He was already raised, his spirit was. So, technically, he should be just, like, roaming right now. He shouldn't be in purgatory. But they were like, oh, the show was canceled. Unjustly. And they were like, let's just do it. Let's just throw him in there, and then we'll give Oliver, some mojo or whatever.
Okay.
I did like the Lucifer cameo, though. It was short. Wish it was more, but I did like that. Because that was the only thing I felt like it was fleshed out. Because it's pretty much how Lucifer would deal with Constantine.
Pretty much. And they had like a good chemistry. Like, it was like everyone played their, like, that's the thing about the crossover is like, everyone's playing the part that you would expect them to play. But it's like at the same time, it's like, you kind of wanted more. And, for example, if you why does Lex Luthor keep having this Book of Destiny?
I don't know.
If you know, like, he's walking around this Book of Destiny killing Superman, then he comes back to the ship, they're like, don't you think you should get rid of the Book of Destiny so that, Lex doesn't take it anymore? And it's like he just keeps taking it. It's like you guys aren't, going to lock it away, lock and key or something like that.
Like, because he tore the page out. He's like, I took a look in the Book of Destiny, and he tore a page out which tells who the last, because it sees the future and everything, it sees the time. So he had already knew they got stuck at the vanishing point or whatever.
Yeah.
And he even admitted he did. And so he just rewrote his name over, which how would he even read it? Because the symbols didn't look like English. But he wrote his name over where Superman's name was, I guess, Superman from that Earth, because I don't know how it differentiated between Tyler's Superman and Brandon's Superman, but he did that, and then he popped in, and I'm just like, you didn't think to check him? Because the Book of Destiny can see the future, so if you read it and used it, you would have thought, you would just think to yourself, oh, he must have went ahead and saw something. Let me look ahead. And then you would have saw it because the book would have showed you and you could have stopped it. But because that's kind of what they probably would have done in the actual comic version. But I understand you flesh it out for TV, but you could flesh it out a little better, especially since this is like your big thing that you've been leading up to for years.
Yes.
And
so,
yeah.
That thing too, the crossover, it seems like a big thing, but they let so many personal issues get in the way that it's like, they don't even make it seem like, oh, the multiverse is falling apart, but Kara's upset about the Earth being destroyed. Oliver, everyone's trying to bring Oliver back to life. Diggle don't know if his wife is evil or good. And it's like, okay, so when are we actually going to, like, fight the Anti-Monitor? When are we going to, just get to the action?
Poor Diggle just kept, like, when they went to get Oliver's soul, first person Oliver hit was Diggle. Just threw him to the side. Soon as they found out Lila was the Anti-Monitor took over. First person that got hit was Diggle. Like, they just were straight up. Like, poor Diggle, he was just a joke. Lucifer made fun of him. He was getting smacked around. He was getting left out of stuff from Team Arrow, well, from Sarah and whatnot.
You think poor Diggle, poor Jefferson, the man got pulled from his dying world just to die on our world.
Right? And the craziest part about it is, you have, on the show, there's a Earth 2 from, like, from Harry Wells, is the one that's the father to Jesse Quick. On their Earth, you have them because you watch her kill her dad. You watch Black Lightning and the whole family, and she was like, I'm the bomb. And then Jennifer from Earth 1, the normal continuity Earth, who has an inhibitor chip on her because she was curing metas, and then they leave, so you already knew Earth 1 was going to be destroyed because she was wiped out before the crossover ended. Then you got the one from her Earth, which is, I can't remember what Earth they're on, but I'm just like, so you have one on each Earth. So why, like, even if you, like, combine the universes at the end of this thing, because I'm thinking they might do that to put them all in the same universe, how are you even gonna explain that because you just kind of wrote yourself into a corner because you had like it. Even though this has to be a Supergirl on Earth 1, or it should have been, because Oliver found kryptonite on the Earth for an Arrow, there has been one. So maybe in those cases, like on Supergirl's Earth, there is no Arrow, no Flash. So that works. They interlock. You already have a Jefferson. Maybe you can Lynn, Jeff, and Anissa, you can get away with. Because the Earth 2 Jennifer killed them on that one, but you still got the Earth 1 and then that Earth's version. So how are they going to do that? They're going to interlock. What's going to happen? Is the bitchy Jennifer going to be like there? What I don't know. So that's the other thing that really just kind of, it's like you shouldn't write yourself in a corner like that.
And it feels like they do it all the time with these crossovers, because it's like there's so many questions that you're left asking, and it's like, oh, but we got everyone in their costumes together. Don't you think that's good? And it's like, yeah, that's good, but you kind of just did a whole bunch of stuff. For example, with Barry, so far in all his season, he's telling everyone he's gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm preparing you for my death. I'm preparing you for my death. I'm preparing you for my death. But the second the crossover comes, he's barely in it.
Right? I don't think. I was about to say. I don't think we barely saw Barry ever. That was like a few times. And then he goes right back off, and
he keeps saying, "I'm doing recon."
Yeah, and I'm like, either that or you just don't want to use the budget because Flash has a lot of money to do the Flash. He's CGI, and then you still have the rest of the season to go for Flash. So I'm just like, I don't know what to make out of that. And then he was just upset fighting because the older him from the other Earth killed himself. Then literally 5 minutes later, I told you I can't run it back to you. You didn't even say anything else. A second thought about the man. But, yeah. But pretty much, like I said, we didn't hate the crossover.
No.
It wasn't bad at all. I just wish they had wrapped it in a little bit more. But, of course, we still got 2 more episodes. So we still have to wait to see what they're going to do for that before we make our final verdict. But with that being said, we just would hope that you stick around so you can see our next part to this. And we will be back to talk about other things. It's not just going to be about this television shows. We're going to talk about different things.
We're going to talk about life.
That, what he said. But yeah, so just stick around. And like I said, I'm going to be putting out more content too because more stuff I ordered for my equipment has come in. So I'll be putting out different ones. I'll have different anime stuff and video game stuff. So thanks for bearing with me this long and just bear with me a bit longer. And his name's Yalta Studios. Yalta space Studios. Same thing, that's his tag on Instagram. And he has a Facebook that goes by that as well. So like, subscribe, view to him as well, and then go check him out. So, and if you look at his older videos, he has stop motion on there.
I need to get back into that, but that's a different story.
So it was nice sharing our opinions with everybody. It's nice to be able to talk to everybody like this, and hope that you guys are with us next time. Thank you. We're out.